A great way to improve our comping skills is to combine individual voicings into groups that represent common progressions, like 2-5-1s, and then practice them as combinations. So in this video I'd like to share some tips for creating voicing combos. The first question is, what are some important progressions that we might want to create combos for? In jazz, as I'm sure you know, 2-5-1 progressions are the most common. So let's start there. Here's one of my favorite combinations. Let's look at this from a few different angles. First, notice that I'm using the same voicing type for all three chords, a 5-note voicing without doublings. Do we always have to use a single voicing type for all the chords in a combo? No, we don't. However, if you do a lot of this, your comping will not sound cohesive. It sounds jarring, there's no voice leading, plus it's awkward to play. Most of the time, I would recommend using a somewhat similar texture for all the chords in a combo, especially if you intend to use that particular combo often. Another aspect is voice leading. Whenever we move from chord to chord, we should pay some attention to voice leading. The rules in pop and jazz music are not as rigid as they are in classical music, but some basic principles still apply. For example, don't randomly jump all over the place, or don't play everything in root position. When we're just dealing with triads, proper voice leading is straightforward. Combinations like 1-4 or 1-5 should be second nature. With sevenths and extended chords, things get a little more complex. A good approach is to voice lead the guide tones and then just add whatever else we want to add. In the case of a 2-5-1 in a major key, here's how this plays out. If we start with A position guide tones for D minor 7 and then play the closest guide tone voicing for G7, it turns out to be in B position. If we then resolve to C major 7, we're back to A position. Conversely, if we start with B position guide tones for D minor 7 and then play the closest guide tone voicing for G7, it turns out to be in A position. If we then resolve to C major 7, we're back to B position. So whenever you voice lead the guide tones in cycle progressions, A and B positions will alternate. Now check out the voice leading of the guide tones in the 2-5-1 combo I introduced a minute ago. Of course, we want to practice these combinations in all 12 keys. And so on. Here's another one of my favorite combos. This one uses 3 different voicing types. The D minor 7 is an overlap voicing, where I play an A and a B voicing at the same time, so they overlap in the middle. The G7 is an upper structure 6 voicing, where I add a major triad built on the 6th degree of a G scale to the guide tones. In this case it's an E major triad. This gives me a 13 flat 9 voicing. And the C major 7 chord is voiced as 5-note, no doublings. Notice that I'm playing C6-9 instead of C major 7, which is always my prerogative in jazz. Those two chords are interchangeable. And once again, practice the combo in all 12 keys. And so on. Here's another one of my faves. I'm playing the D minor 7 as a so what voicing. The G7 is voiced as an altered chord with 5-note no doublings, which is also an upper structure flat 6 voicing. And the C major 7 is also voiced with a so what voicing. Once again, all 12 keys. And so on. Here's an interesting one-handed combo using Quartal voicings. I'm starting on this shape for the D minor 7 chord. 11, flat 7, flat 3. And then I just walk each of the 3 voices stepwise down the C major scale. And again, all 12 keys. And so on. Here's a combo using big two-handed upper structure voicings. Notice that even though my right hand jumps around a bit, the voice leading in my left hand is really tight. The higher up in a voicing we are, the more we can get away with not worrying about voice leading. And again, all 12 keys. So I hope you picked up some ideas that you can use in your own comping. Again, I'm gonna do another video like this for minor keys, which can be a bit more tricky, so look out for that. If you've enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.